様子を向き오니 견씨가시 나가듯 피디하시 어머니나 간시하니
I don't want you to go, Emily whispered, her hands clutching mine so tightly I thought she might leave imprints. Her eyes, always so soft, now glistened with unshed tears. I have to, Em, I said, trying to steady my voice. This is my chance. My chance to serve, to do something bigger than us, bigger than this town. She shook her head. Bigger than me? No, not bigger than you, I insisted, but even as I said it, my heart wrenched. I can't ignore this. You know what this means for my career, my future. For us, eventually. Emily laughed bitterly. Eventually? Alex, you're leaving now. And eventually doesn't mean anything if I'm alone while you chase your dreams. I felt a twinge of guilt, but I couldn't let it break me. All right. I'll call. We'll get through this. Jake's staying around, right? He'll help. Jake, standing a few steps away, gave me a reassuring nod. I've got your back, Alex. Emily, don't worry. I'll be here for both of you. Emily's eyes flicked to him, hesitant, and I felt a faint unease I tried to dismiss. Jake, she started, then stopped. I squeezed her hands, forcing a smile. We'll make it work. I promise. She swallowed hard and let out a shaky breath. Promise me you won't forget me while you're away. That you won't. Emily, stop. I could never forget you. Her lips quivered and she buried her face in my chest. I'm scared, Alex. Scared you'll leave and never come back the same. Scared I'll lose you while you're chasing some impossible dream. I rubbed her back awkwardly, the weight of her fear pressing down on me. I'm not leaving you. I'm leaving to become someone who can protect what we have. Don't think of it as leaving, think of it as building a future. She pulled back slightly, searching my eyes. And if that future changes? I swallowed. It won't. I swear. Jake cleared his throat. We should probably get going if we're heading to the base tonight. Alex, you've got a long road ahead. Emily's fingers clenched mine again. I don't want to let go. I forced a laugh. I know. Me neither. She shook her head, tears spilling down. I'm not saying goodbye, Alex. I'm saying, be careful. Don't let this dream take you away from me. I cupped her face and kissed her forehead. I'll come back for you. Always. As we drove to the station, the town blurred past me, small and insignificant. I tried to focus on the thrill of the future, on the military academy waiting for me, but every mile felt heavier, every passing second a reminder of what I was leaving behind. Emily's words echoed in my mind, don't let this dream take you away from me. I glanced at Jake, who gave me that smug, confident grin. Ready for this, man? Yeah, I said, though my voice felt hollow. I wanted to believe it, wanted to convince myself that ambition was worth the pain. When I arrived at the academy, the grandeur of the gates, the rows of disciplined cadets, and the smell of polished wood and leather filled me with excitement. Yet as I checked into my quarters, my phone buzzed. A message from Emily, I love you. Please come back to me, the same man I fell for. I stared at it, stomach twisting. I wanted to reply with confidence, with bravado, but I typed, I will. I promise, and hit send. The first weeks were a blur of drills, early mornings, and relentless training. I threw myself into every exercise, every challenge, trying to numb the ache of leaving Emily behind. But late at night, in the quiet moments when everyone else was asleep, her face haunted me. You look like hell, Carter, Sergeant Williams said one evening, snapping me back to reality. Focus. The enemy won't wait for your feelings. Yes, sir, I muttered, forcing my muscles to move while my mind drifted to Emily. I clenched my fists until my knuckles ached, trying to channel longing into strength. Jake's letters arrived like clockwork, reassuring me of Emily's well-being. She's fine. She misses you but is holding up. His words were comforting, but a nagging doubt lingered. Something in the way he wrote made me uneasy, though I couldn't pinpoint it. One night, in the barracks, I confided in a fellow cadet, Marcus. It's hard, being away from her. Every day, I feel like I'm missing something I can't get back. Marcus shrugged. Welcome to life, man. But if you want to come back stronger, you can't let it consume you. Trust her, and trust yourself. I nodded, though trust felt fragile. Every training session, every grueling challenge, I felt the invisible tug of home pulling at me. Emily's laughter, her soft voice, her insistence that I be careful, it haunted me. And somewhere in the back of my mind, a tiny, uncomfortable thought whispered, Jake's always been there. Always. I pushed it away, focusing on push-ups, drills, and marching formations. I told myself it was nothing, just my imagination. But even as I shouted orders during training, my heart screamed for Emily. Letters from her arrived sporadically now, tone shifting slightly, colder, hesitant. I brushed it off, blaming my own absence. Yet, late at night, I found myself staring at Jake's letters again, scrutinizing every word, every phrase. Emily's last letter before my first deployment had ended simply, "Wait for me. Be strong. Come back to me." I folded it carefully, placing it in my pocket, touching it as I lay on my cot. The academy was my dream, the life I had chosen, but the weight of leaving Emily behind was heavier than any backpack, any obstacle course, any drill sergeant's yelling. And as I stared at the ceiling that night, I whispered to myself, more in fear than conviction, "I'll come back. I have to. I'll come back to you, no matter what it takes." Carter. Eyes forward. Sergeant Williams barked, slamming his boot against the ground. I snapped to attention, my heart hammering. The base smelled of sweat, diesel, and polish, sharp and real. "Yes, sir," I shouted, even as my thoughts drifted to Emily. "Move." I ran with the rest of the recruits, every muscle burning, every breath heavy. I should have felt pride, adrenaline, anything. But all I could think about was her. Later, in the mess hall, I sat across from Jake, trading canned coffee and tired grins. "How's she holding up?" I asked, lowering my voice so the others wouldn't hear. Jake shrugged casually. "She's okay. Writes to you every day, right? She misses you." "I know," I said, trying to sound confident. "It's just, I feel like I'm missing more than I can handle." "Don't overthink it," Jake said, smirking. "You're doing something important. She knows that." "Does she?" I muttered, tracing the rim of my coffee cup. Later that night, I opened my first letter from Emily. The paper was neatly folded, her familiar handwriting curling on the page. "Alex, I miss you. The house feels empty without you. Jake stopped by today, he's been helping me with things around the place. I wish you were here. I hope training isn't too harsh." My stomach twisted. Jake helping her wasn't surprising, he always did, but something about the way she wrote, warmer than usual, hesitant almost, it made my chest tighten. I clenched my fist. "Don't think about it," I muttered aloud, the room empty except for my thoughts. 2 weeks passed in a blur. Drill, push-ups, obstacle courses, endless marching. Every morning Sergeant Williams would shout, "Discipline, strength, focus." And I tried. I really did. But letters from Emily were my weakness. One night I called her, using the base phone with the metal receiver cold against my hand. "Alex." Her voice trembled, soft and fragile. "I'm here, Em. How are you?" "I'm okay," she said, but the pause that followed said more than words. "Jake been keeping you company?" I asked, unable to mask the edge in my voice. There it was, a laugh, nervous and light. "Just helping around the house. You know him, he can't resist fixing things." I swallowed, the jealousy rising, though I tried to bury it. "I know. I just miss you." "I miss you too," she whispered. "It's just lonelier than I thought. And quiet. Too quiet." "Hang in there," I said. "I'll be back before you know it. I promise." "I hope so," she said, voice breaking. Sometimes I wish you were here. Sometimes I wish." "Don't say that, Em," I interrupted quickly, my throat tight. "We'll make it. You'll see." The next day during field exercises I couldn't concentrate. Every shout of "forward" or "move it" felt like background noise to the image of Emily sitting by the window, pen in hand, and Jake hovering nearby. At night, my bunkmates talked about girlfriends and wives, about letters and promises. I nodded along, but I barely heard them. My mind replayed Emily's words, her pauses, the subtle warmth in her letters. "You okay, Carter?" Marcus asked quietly. I shrugged. "Just tired. Training's intense." "Yeah, I get it," he said, nodding. "But don't let it get in your head. You've got to focus, or this place will eat you alive." "I know," I muttered, but I didn't. Because no obstacle course, no drill, no running a mile with 50 pounds of gear could match the weight in my chest. Another letter arrived the following week. "Alex, I baked cookies today. Remember how you always said mine were the worst? Well, I still think you're right. Jake helped me with the dough. He says it's better if we work together." I laughed. "I thought of you. I hope you're eating well." I threw the letter on my bunk, frustrated. "Why does it feel like you're not just writing to me?" I muttered to the empty room. Later Jake came by. "Hey, everything all right? You've been in a mood all day." I looked at him, unsure if I should confront him or just bottle it up. "Yeah, fine. Just missing home, I guess." Jake smirked, casually tossing a small wrench in his hand. "She's fine. Don't worry. You'll see her soon." "I know," I said, forcing a smile. But the edge in his tone, the smugness in his grin, something nagged at me. I couldn't explain it. Training intensified. I pushed myself harder, wanting to escape the thoughts of Emily and Jake. Every early morning run, every obstacle, every shouted order from Sergeant Williams became my way of distracting myself. But at night, alone, the letters called me back. I started reading between the lines. The way Emily described her day, the little pauses, the laughter she mentioned, too often with Jake. My chest ached. One evening, I found a quiet spot outside the barracks, staring at the stars. I whispered to myself, I'll come back to you, no matter what. I have to. The base was alive with the sounds of training, but I felt distant, suspended between pride and worry, ambition and love. Every letter was a double-edged sword, comforting, yet twisting the knife in my heart. The final letter of the month arrived, heavy in my hand. I opened it slowly. Alex, I don't know if I can tell you everything in letters. I miss you terribly. I hope you understand that life here isn't the same without you. Jake has been helpful. But that's all I can say for now. Please come back safe. Please come back to me. I read it again, slower this time, and my stomach churned. Helpful. That word felt like a warning I wasn't ready to acknowledge. I crumpled the paper in my hand, breathing hard. I can't. I won't think that way, I said aloud. Focus on training. Focus on coming back to her. But the doubt lingered, subtle and insidious, like a shadow I couldn't shake. Sergeant Williams barked my name, snapping me back to the present. Carter. Eyes forward. Yes, sir. I shouted, voice firmer this time, though my mind still ached with longing. As I ran the drills, I clenched my fists, thinking of Emily, thinking of Jake, thinking of the promises I had made and the ones I would keep. I would come back. I had to. And in the quiet of the barracks, staring at my bunkmates laughing, I whispered again, more to myself than anyone else, I'll come back to you, Em. No matter what it takes. Carter, report to my office. Lieutenant Carter's voice cut through the barracks like a whip. I straightened immediately, trying to ignore the lump forming in my throat. Yes, sir. I called, my boots clicking against the floor. As I entered, he was reviewing papers, not even looking up. Alex, you're progressing well in drills. But your letters, your mind isn't fully here, is it? I hesitated. No, sir. I've been distracted, maybe? Lieutenant Carter finally looked at me, eyes sharp. You're a soldier now. Emotion has its place, but here it can kill. Don't let it. Yes, sir, I muttered, my stomach twisting. Later in my quarters, a letter from Emily waited. I tore it open quickly, almost ripping the edges. Alex, things at home are complicated. Jake has been around more often. I can't tell you everything in letters, but I think you should focus on your training. I don't want to burden you. I froze. Burden me? I read it again, every word. Every pause. Something was wrong. I crumpled the paper slightly in my fist. What the hell? I whispered aloud. Marcus, my bunkmate, noticed my expression. Everything okay? Yeah, just letters from home. Strange ones. Marcus shrugged. Women. They write stuff. You can't read too much into it. Focus on yourself. I didn't answer. I felt a gnawing pit in my stomach. The next phone call only made it worse. Alex, Emily said, her voice distant. Are you okay? My voice betrayed the worry I tried to hide. I'm fine, she said quickly, almost too quickly. Really? I hesitated. You sound different. You sound colder. I'm just busy, she replied. Don't worry about me. You focus on whatever you're doing. I swallowed hard. I can't stop worrying. I can't help it. I know, Alex, she said softly. Then there was a pause. Jake's been helping me with things. The house errands, you know him. He's reliable. Reliable? I asked, voice tighter than I intended. That's all? Yes, she said. Just reliable. Don't overthink it. I wanted to scream at her, to demand more, but instead I said, okay. I trust you. But the words felt hollow even as I spoke them. Days passed and the letters kept coming. Each one colder than the last, each one hinting at her closeness with Jake. Alex, I don't want you to worry, but Jake and I went to town today. He's been supportive. I laughed a lot. You would have laughed too. I slammed the letter down on my bunk. Laughed a lot? With him? I muttered, pacing. What does that mean? Marcus leaned against the doorframe. She's fine, man. Really. Don't let it get to you. I can't not think about it, I said, gripping the edges of my bunk. I feel like I'm losing her. Marcus shook his head. You signed up for this life. It's rough. You can't control what happens back home. I know, I said, but I didn't. I couldn't stop thinking about Emily and Jake. Every memory we shared replayed in my mind. Every laugh, every touch, every whispered promise. I started questioning everything. Was I too focused on ambition? Was I blind to what was happening right under my nose? One night in the mess hall, a fellow soldier asked, "You writing home again?" I nodded. Yeah, trying to keep connected. He shrugged. I can't. My girl? I don't even want to read her letters. Too much stress. I forced a laugh. You think my stress is bad? Depends, he said. You guys apart a long time? Months, I said, my jaw tightening. Too long. Later that evening, Emily's next letter arrived. My hands shook as I opened it. Alex, I don't know how to say this. Jake has been comforting. I feel I can tell him things I can't tell you. Don't misunderstand, I still love you, but I feel safe with him sometimes. I hope you understand. Focus on being the soldier you promised to be. I stared at the words. My chest tightened. Safe with him? I muttered. Safe with him? I couldn't breathe. Every happy memory of Emily with me twisted into suspicion and betrayal. I wanted to call her, to scream, to demand answers, but the lieutenant's words echoed in my head. Emotion can kill you. I folded the letter carefully, as if handling it roughly would shatter her words. Carter, Marcus said from the doorway, you're walking around like you just saw a ghost. Relax. You'll overthink yourself sick. I can't relax, I said, pacing. She's telling me things she shouldn't have. Marcus raised his eyebrows. Things like. I turned to him, voice low. She feels closer to Jake than me sometimes. She says he comforts her in ways I can't. I don't know how to process it. Marcus looked uncomfortable. Man, that's rough. But letters aren't proof. Don't go crazy. I shook my head. I can't help it. I've imagined every moment she's with him. Every laugh, every glance. I can't stop thinking about it. The next few weeks were a blur. Drill, missions, and constant letters that twisted my stomach. Every time I opened one, my heart raced and sank at the same time. Then one evening as I sat alone outside the barracks, my phone buzzed. Another letter from Emily. I opened it slowly. Alex, I can't explain everything here. I want to, but it's impossible over letters. You need to come back, soon. There's something I need to tell you. Something that will change everything. Please just, come back. I froze, my hands trembling. Change everything? I whispered. What does she mean by that? The stars above felt distant, cold. I wanted to call her, to demand answers, to hear her voice and know that everything wasn't as I feared. But I knew I had to focus, at least outwardly, or Lieutenant Carter would chew me out. Carter, a voice yelled from the training field. Move it. I clenched my fist, staring at the letter again. The words burned into my mind. Emily, Jake, something she can't tell me. My heart ached, my mind spiraled. I whispered to myself, a mix of fear and determination, I'll come back. I have to. I need to know everything. I stepped off the train, my duffel bag slung over my shoulder, scanning the familiar streets. Everything smelled the same, fresh-cut grass, warm asphalt, faint aroma of Emily's baking from a nearby bakery. My chest ached with anticipation. Finally, I thought. Finally home. Then I saw her. Emily. She was standing by the door of our little house, hands folded over her stomach. Her eyes went wide when she saw me, but the look wasn't joy. It was tense, guarded. Alex, she whispered, voice trembling. I dropped my bag and ran to her. I'm home. I wrapped my arms around her, expecting laughter, tears, relief. But she stiffened. Emily? What's wrong? I asked, pulling back to see her face. She took a shaky breath. Alex, there's something you need to know. I frowned. What? Are you hurt? Is it Jake? Her lips quivered. No, yes. Alex, I grabbed her hands. Talk to me. What is it? She broke down, tears streaming. I'm pregnant. At first, relief rushed through me. We're having a baby? But then I saw her eyes and my stomach dropped. The look she gave me, one I didn't recognize. Emily, it's mine, right? I asked, voice tight. She shook her head, crying harder. Alex, it's Jake's. The world stopped. My knees went weak. My hands clenched into fists. What? I shouted. I never meant it happened while you were away. She sobbed. I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared. I love you, Alex, I really do, but it happened and I can't take it back. I staggered back, shaking. How could you? After everything? After I left for you, for us? I was lonely, she cried. I missed you. I made a mistake. Please. I didn't mean to hurt you. I laughed bitterly. A mistake? A mistake is dropping a plate, Emily. Not sleeping with my best friend. Her face fell. I'm sorry, Alex. I can't change it. I wish I could. I wish. I cut her off. Wish. That's all you have? Wish I didn't leave you alone for years? Wish I wasn't away risking my life for us. My voice broke. Do you have any idea what I went through thinking about you every single day? Emily sobbed quietly. I know. I never wanted this. I paced, feeling the walls close in. And Jake, does he even care? Did he think about me? I don't know, Alex, she whispered. He was there for me when you weren't. He helped me. But it wasn't like I wanted this to happen. It just happened. I slammed my fist against the wall. You call that help? You call that loyalty? That's betrayal, Emily. Pure betrayal. Emily flinched. I'm sorry, she cried. I never wanted to hurt you. I swear. I ran my hands through my hair. I left for you. I sacrificed everything for you. And this is what I come back to. She fell to her knees. Please don't hate me. Hate you. I yelled. I don't even know what I feel. I sank onto the couch, my head in my hands. Anger, heartbreak, betrayal, guilt. All of it at once. And I can't stop thinking, maybe I failed you. Maybe if I hadn't left. Emily reached for my hand, but I pulled it away. Don't, I muttered. Don't touch me. Not yet. The next day I confronted Jake. He leaned casually against his truck, arms crossed, smirking like he owned the world. Alex, he said, voice too calm. Heard your back. Don't, I said, stepping closer, fists clenched. Don't act like nothing happened. Don't act like you didn't ruin my life. Jake shrugged. Ruined your life? Come on, man. She's my friend. I helped her. You weren't here. I wanted to punch him. Helped her? Helped her into bed? Are you proud of yourself? He raised his hands defensively. Look, I didn't plan this. I didn't force anything. It just happened. And I don't owe you apologies. You don't owe me apologies? I shouted. You're unbelievable. I told you, Alex, he said, his voice calm now. You left. You wanted this life. You wanted to serve your country. I was just there. That's it. I gritted my teeth. There? You're there? She's carrying your child, Jake. Your child. Jake's expression hardened slightly. Don't come at me like that. I didn't plan this. I didn't want this. But I didn't do anything wrong. You made your choices too. I stumbled back, shaking. Choices? Choices? I left my wife for my dream. And look where it got me. Jake shrugged again, indifferent. You said it yourself. Choices. You made yours. I made mine. Now deal with it. I turned away, heart pounding, stomach twisted. I can't believe this. I can't believe either of you. Emily called that evening. Alex, I know you're angry. Angry? I barked. I'm more than angry. I don't even know. I feel like my life is a lie. I know, she whispered. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry. I wish. I don't want your wishes, Emily. I don't want apologies. I don't know. I don't know what I want anymore. I love you, she said softly. I never stopped. I cut her off. Love me? How can you say that? How can you carry his child and still claim you love me? I don't know, she cried. Please, don't hate me completely. I still need you. I still need us somehow. I hung up the phone, trembling. My chest ached. Rage, heartbreak, betrayal, it all twisted together into a knot I couldn't untangle. I walked through the house, seeing memories everywhere. Our wedding photo on the mantel. The mug she gave me for Christmas. The little scarf I bought her on our first anniversary. And now, the shadow of betrayal loomed over all of it. Neighbors stopped by, offering awkward smiles and, "Welcome home, Alex." I barely heard them. Their words felt meaningless. All I could see was Emily, Jake, and the child that wasn't mine. I sat alone on the porch, the evening breeze cold against my skin. I whispered, more to myself than anyone else, I left for her. I fought for her. And this is what I come back to. Tears burned my eyes. Rage burned my chest. But underneath it all, a cold, hard clarity began to form. I wouldn't break. Not entirely. Not yet. I stood, fists clenched. They'll pay, I muttered. Both of them. They'll pay, somehow. And in that moment I realized my life would never be the same. Trust shattered. Love twisted. Betrayal sharp as a knife. And I had to survive it no matter the cost. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the floor, hands clenched around a mug of lukewarm coffee. The bitterness matched the chaos in my chest. What am I supposed to do now? I asked myself over and over. Rage screamed at me to confront Jake, to make him feel every ounce of the pain he caused. Reason whispered that would destroy me too. The phone buzzed. Emily. I hesitated, staring at the screen. Finally I answered. Alex, hi. Her voice trembled, quiet, almost pleading. Hi, I said coldly. How are you feeling today? I'm okay. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I know you are, I muttered. You sound like you mean it, but I don't know if that matters anymore. I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt you, she said. I thought about you every day. Every letter I wrote. I was trying to hold on to us. I don't know if I can hold on, Em, I said, voice tight. I can't stop thinking about him. About the baby. About us, what we were, what we are now. I feel like I'm drowning. You're not alone, she said softly. I'm here. I'm scared too. I still love you. I know I messed up, but nothing makes it right, I interrupted. I keep seeing your face with him in my mind. I can't control it. I hate myself for thinking it, but I do. I know, she said, tears barely restrained. I hate myself too. I never wanted this. I'm sorry, Alex. Truly. I closed my eyes, memories of leaving her rushing back. The tears at the station, the way she begged me not to go, the promise I made to come back to her. I had left for ambition, for pride, for something bigger. And now, look where it got me. The phone line went quiet for a moment, then she whispered, I need you. Please, don't leave me. I need you, Alex. I bit my lip, fighting back tears. I don't know if I can stay. Alex, her voice broke. Please. I need you. We can fix this, somehow. I still want us. I love you. I swallowed hard. I love you too, but love isn't enough right now. Not for what happened. Then what do you want from me? She asked, voice trembling. Tell me, Alex. Tell me what I can do. I don't know, I admitted. I feel torn. I want to scream at him, make him feel it. But then I think, if I do, I'll become everything I hate. I'll become something I can't come back from. You're not alone, she whispered again. I'll face it too. Whatever it takes, Alex. I need you. Don't give up on us. Her words should have comforted me, but instead they made my chest tighten. I wanted to fight, to scream, to confront Jake, to tear everything down. But the discipline drilled into me as a soldier held me back. Control your emotions. Control your actions. Jake's face flashed in my mind. That smug grin, his calm shrug when I confronted him, the way he didn't apologize. I could almost hear him saying, you left, you made your choices. I slammed the mug down, spilling coffee across my bed. I can't just forgive this. I shouted, empty room echoing back at me. My sister called that afternoon. Alex, I heard about Emily. About Jake, she said gently. Don't, I snapped. Don't even start. Alex, she said softly. I just want you to know, whatever you do, we're here. Mom, Dad, we just want you safe. Not destroyed by this. I'm not safe, I said, voice breaking. I'm not okay. I came back to her. To us. And now everything is twisted. You're stronger than you think, she said. You can handle this. You have to make a choice, Alex. Revenge, leaving, or trying to hold on. Whatever it is, it's yours. Don't let anyone else decide for you. I hung up, feeling the weight of her words. I wanted to leave, to vanish, to never face Emily or Jake again. But even as I thought it, I knew I couldn't. Not entirely. The thought of abandoning her, abandoning the child, it made my stomach churn. Later I called Emily again. Listen. I need honesty. No excuses. No hiding. I've been honest, she said quietly. Emily, I need to hear it. Really? She swallowed. I still love you. I didn't plan. I never planned any of this. I was lonely. I made a mistake. I know I hurt you. I know it might be unforgivable. But I need you. I ran my hands through my hair. And Jake. He's just there. He didn't force anything. He cares maybe, but not the way I care about you, she said. I wanted to believe her. I wanted desperately to. But every instinct screamed otherwise. Every letter, every memory, every detail of him in our home made it impossible to ignore. You understand why I'm torn? I asked finally. I do, she said softly. I need you. I can't face this without you. I don't know if I can face him without doing something I'll regret, I admitted. I don't know if I can face you without breaking. Then let's face it together, she whispered. Whatever comes next. I need you to decide, Alex. Don't leave me. Don't run from this. We can survive it somehow. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling, listening to the wind outside, my heart hammering. Rage, heartbreak, guilt, and love, all tangled together. I could fight, I could leave, I could plan revenge. But underneath it all, I knew one thing. I couldn't abandon her. Not entirely. And as I sat there, alone with my thoughts, I whispered, more to myself than anyone else, I'll figure this out, somehow. I'll survive this. I have to, for her, for me, for us. I sat at the kitchen table, fingers drumming on the wood, staring at a notebook filled with scribbles, names, dates, and small observations about Jake. Years of military training had taught me discipline, observation, and strategy. Now I was using it for something I'd never imagined, revenge. Emily sat across from me, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea. Alex, are you sure about this? She asked quietly. I have to do it, I said, eyes cold. I can't let him think he got away with this. Not him, not anyone who helped betray us. Emily's lips pressed together. I know he hurt you, but don't lose yourself in it. Don't become him. I'm not becoming him, I said. I'm just reclaiming control. He needs to see the consequences of what he's done. She looked down at her mug. I want to help, but I'm scared. Every time I think about confronting him, I feel sick. And guilty. You don't need to feel guilty, I said firmly. He's the one who betrayed us. You survived. That's what matters. Emily nodded slowly. Okay, then we do it together? Together, I said, but my mind was already calculating. Every interaction, every weakness, every hint of arrogance Jake had shown me, I would use it. I started gathering intelligence. I spoke casually with Jake's acquaintances, learning about his habits, his minor indiscretions, and the way he tried to impress people with lies. I noted every detail. He boasted about things that weren't true, exaggerated small favors, even manipulated friends for personal gain. At the local coffee shop, I ran into Mark, one of Jake's co-workers. Alex, back from the army? Man, it's been intense for you, I hear, he said, shaking my hand. Yeah, it's been something, I said, keeping my tone casual. Say, have you noticed Jake, well, exaggerating things lately? Mark blinked. Exaggerating? Yeah, sometimes. Why? Oh, just curious. I heard a few stories from mutual friends about him taking credit for things he didn't do, making people believe he's more successful than he really is. I shrugged. Funny how people let that slide. Mark frowned. Really? Yeah, I guess. He can be full of himself sometimes. Exactly, I said, smiling faintly. Full of himself. That can get people into trouble. Mark nodded slowly, not realizing he had just provided more ammunition. At home, Emily watched silently as I worked. Alex, every time you plan something like this, I see that old discipline in your eyes. Intense. But be careful. I will, I said. I'm not careless. I've been hurt, yes, but I'm not reckless. I'm precise. I'm patient. Emily looked at me, a mixture of fear and admiration in her eyes. I can't believe you're doing this for us. I'm doing it for me too, I admitted. For the part of me that still believes in justice. That believes we deserve better than betrayal. The first test came at a small gathering Jake attended. I watched from the corner, Emily beside me. Jake laughed, telling a story about how he saved a project at work. I raised an eyebrow subtly. You mean the project that almost failed because you mismanaged it? I asked casually, loud enough for nearby friends to hear. Jake froze, blinked, then laughed nervously. Well, yeah, but I mean, it worked out in the end, right? The group looked uncertain, glancing between us. A few raised eyebrows. Murmurs started. I smiled inwardly. Step 1, doubt seated. Later, I engineered another situation. Jake bragged to a mutual friend about helping Emily with chores. I casually mentioned a few things he supposedly forgot or messed up, details Emily confirmed quietly to me beforehand. You mean he left the groceries in the rain and blamed it on the bag? One friend asked, laughing. Jake's face flushed red. Well, yeah, but I I interrupted lightly. It's okay. Mistakes happen. But he did tell me how he supposedly helped, right? The group chuckled softly, sensing a gap between his words and reality. I could almost see the arrogance crack. Satisfaction burned quietly in my chest. Emily whispered to me later, "Alex, you're terrifying when you focus." I smiled faintly. Focus is survival. And sometimes, revenge is survival too. At home, we went over every letter, every conversation, every small slip Jake had made over the months. Emily helped quietly, giving me insight into his subtle manipulations, his exaggerations, even lies told to neighbors. Together we mapped everything. Every mistake, every misstep, every betrayal became a tool. "Alex," Emily said one night, holding my hand, "I can't tell you how it feels, watching him get called out even subtly. But I feel guilty. I don't want to enjoy it too much." "You don't have to feel guilty," I said, squeezing her hand. "I'm the one hurt. I get the satisfaction, but you survived. That's enough." "I know," she said softly. "But it still hurts seeing him. He looks at me sometimes, like he expects forgiveness." "Let him expect it," I said. "It won't come. Not yet. He has to feel the consequences of what he's done. And I'll make sure they're clear." Over the following weeks, I orchestrated small exposures. Minor lies revealed themselves in conversations, his friends questioning him, casual observers noticing inconsistencies. I stayed in the shadows, letting him stumble over his own arrogance. Each time, Emily's hand brushed mine, a silent reminder of trust slowly rebuilding. I can't believe you're so methodical," Emily said one evening, eyes wide. "You've turned everything into a plan." "I learned from the best," I said dryly. "Military training isn't just about fighting in the field. It's about strategy, patience, and waiting for the right moment." Emily chuckled softly. I'm glad you're using it for us and not something worse." I looked at her, eyes serious. "I still hurt. I still bleed inside every time I think about what happened. But this is controlled. I won't destroy myself. I'll destroy the lies, the arrogance, the betrayal. That's enough." She nodded, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "And me? You?" I said softly. "You survived. You're here. And I'm not letting go. Not entirely. We'll rebuild, slowly, carefully." Her smile was tentative but real. "Slowly is fine. I'll take slowly." I leaned back, finally allowing a small measure of relief to wash over me. The strategy was working. The satisfaction of seeing Jake stumble, even subtly, was sweet, but it was tempered by lingering heartbreak. Every move reminded me of what we lost, what we endured. And yet, I felt something else. Power. Control. Not over Emily, not even entirely over Jake, but over the chaos that had consumed my life. That I could reclaim. I whispered to myself quietly, "Step by step, Alex. Reclaim what's yours. Rebuild what's broken. And don't let anyone forget what betrayal costs." I saw him across the cafe, leaning against the counter with that smug look that made my stomach twist. Jake. Every instinct screamed at me to march over and knock him flat, but years of discipline, training, and bitter experience held me back. Emily stood beside me, her hand lightly brushing mine. "Alex, just breathe," she whispered. "I can't," I muttered, jaw tight. "I see him and I want to make him pay right here, right now." "You'll control it," she said softly, her eyes pleading. "Remember what we planned." I clenched my fists under the table. "I remember. It's getting harder. Every time I see him, every smirk, every fake apology, I want to smash him." Emily squeezed my hand. "Then don't. You're stronger than that. You'll make him stumble in ways he'll never forget. That's enough." I nodded, forcing myself to relax. My eyes never left him as he laughed with a couple of his friends. The way he carried himself, arrogant, careless, irritated me more than I expected. Finally I stood. "Jake." He turned, eyebrows raised. "Alex? Back again. I thought you'd left for good." "You know I never leave things unfinished," I said, voice low but steady. "Especially not betrayal." Jake's smirk faltered just slightly. "Betrayal? You mean, what happened while you were away?" "Yes," I said, stepping closer. "Exactly that. How do you justify it, Jake? Did you enjoy it? Did you think I'd never come back?" It's complicated, Alex," he said, trying to laugh it off. "You left, remember? I was just there. I didn't force anything." "You didn't force it?" I said, voice rising. You inserted yourself into my life while I was risking everything. That's your idea of honor? Emily's voice broke in, trembling. Alex, please. Not here. Not like this. I don't care, Em. I shouted, emotion spilling out. I can't hold it anymore. You have to see what he did. You have to know. Jake took a step back, hands raised. Alex, calm down. You're overreacting. Overreacting? I spat. I came home to find my wife carrying your child, Jake. And you pretend it's nothing? Nothing? The cafe went quiet. Some patrons glanced over, sensing tension. Jake's friends shifted uneasily. I didn't plan it, Alex, Jake said, voice quieter now. It just happened. And I can't change it. Change it? I barked. You could have walked away. You could have left her alone. But no, you had to insert yourself into my life like poison. Emily's face paled. Alex, stop. Please. We can handle this quietly. Don't. Quietly? I laughed bitterly. Quietly won't undo what's been done. I trusted both of you. I trusted her, and I trusted you as my friend. Jake looked cornered but still tried to hold his arrogance. Alex, I didn't think you'd come back so fast. You left me no choice. No choice. I shouted, voice raw. You had every choice. Every damn choice. And you chose betrayal. Emily cried softly, placing a hand on my arm. Alex, please. Don't let this destroy you. Not you, not me. I looked at her, chest heaving. Emily, I don't know how to stop feeling this rage. I want to hit him, I want to make him understand pain, but I swallowed hard. But I know that's not me. That's not who I am anymore. Jake's eyes flicked nervously to the small photograph on the cafe wall. Our wedding picture, framed by the cafe for some promotion. My fingers itched. I had brought my own photograph too, tucked in my wallet, ready? Symbolic reminders of what was stolen, what was broken. I took a deep breath. I won't hit you, Jake. But I will make sure everyone sees who you really are. The lies, the arrogance, the betrayal. Step by step. Quietly. Precisely. Just like training. He swallowed. Alex, you're insane. Maybe, I said calmly. Or maybe I'm just a man who finally realized he doesn't need to destroy himself to make someone else pay. Karma works differently when it's guided by precision, not rage. Emily exhaled, a mix of relief and fear. Alex, it's working. Just don't let him see your satisfaction. Not yet. I won't, I said, eyes narrowing. He'll stumble on his own arrogance and I'll be ready. Every word, every action, every lie, exposed at the right moment. He won't see me coming, but he'll feel the consequences. Jake shifted, suddenly uneasy. You think you can outsmart me? I know I can, I said. Because I'm not acting on emotion. I'm acting on observation, discipline, and truth. You're arrogant, careless, and the world notices when arrogance blinds you. He said nothing. The tension was palpable. His friends shifted uncomfortably, sensing the end of something. Emily whispered, Alex? I'm proud of you. But it's still painful. I know, I said softly. Every victory, every plan, every observation, it's bittersweet. Because the wound doesn't disappear. It only sharpens resolve. Jake finally spoke, voice low, almost trembling. You won't stop, will you? No, I said quietly. Not until the truth is clear. Not until you understand the cost of betrayal. And not until until she's safe, respected, and her life isn't dictated by your arrogance. I could see the shift in him. Small, subtle, uneasy glances, hesitation in his speech, tension in his stance. My strategy was working, and yet, the pain, the betrayal, the heartbreak, it lingered. Satisfaction was only a shadow beneath the storm inside me. Emily squeezed my hand again. Alex, don't let this consume you. Promise me you won't lose yourself. I won't, I said firmly. I've been pushed to my limits, but I control what comes next. He will fall, not because I hit him, not because I yell, but because his own lies will unravel. Slowly. Precisely. And when he does, everyone will see. Her lips quivered as she whispered, I can't wait for him to realize it. I nodded, my mind already calculating the next moves. Patience, observation, strategy. The breaking point wasn't a single blow, it was the slow, inevitable collapse of arrogance and deceit. I glanced at the small letter tucked in my jacket pocket, the one I had written months ago, never sent, documenting every betrayal, every suspicion. It was symbolic now, a reminder of the life stolen and the pain endured. I held it tightly, feeling its weight. Jake's smirk had vanished. For the first time, I saw fear, or maybe just uncertainty. Either way, it was enough for now. I whispered to myself quietly, almost like a vow. Step by step, Alex. He will fall. And when he does, I'll be ready. Karma, strategy, patience. That's your weapon now. Not rage. Not fists. Not screams. Patience. The cafe felt smaller, the air thicker. Every glance, every word, every tense silence was a reminder of how close we were to the edge. And in that moment, I realized the breaking point wasn't him. It was me, how much I could endure, how precise I could be, and how far I was willing to go to reclaim what was stolen. I watched from across the room, keeping a low profile, as Jake stumbled through his first meeting after the subtle exposures I had planted. The arrogance that used to fill the room now seemed fragile, almost transparent. His colleagues exchanged glances, whispers cutting sharper than any words I could have hurled. Jake, did you actually handle this project yourself? One coworker asked, eyebrows raised. Well, mostly, he stammered, avoiding eye contact. Mostly? Another colleague repeated, skepticism dripping from their voice. Because the reports say otherwise. That you exaggerated your involvement. Jake's face flushed red. I can explain. I think it's pretty clear, the first colleague said, voice cold, that you've been taking credit for work you didn't do. That's not okay. I leaned back slightly, sipping my coffee. Every twitch in his expression, every falter, every stammer, my satisfaction burned quietly inside me. Karma was patient and now it was precise. Emily's hand brushed mine. Alex, you're watching too closely, she whispered. I can't help it, I said quietly. It's justice finally. Quiet, patient justice. She sighed. It's still painful seeing him falter. Even though he deserves it. I know, I admitted. But it's different seeing him unravel without me doing anything direct. Feels cleaner. Controlled. Jake tried to regain composure. Look, I made mistakes, okay? I admit it. Mistakes? I laughed inwardly. Mistakes were calling his betrayal a mistake. He didn't just betray Emily and me. He tried to rewrite reality to make it convenient for himself. One of his friends shook their head. Mistakes, Jake? Seems more like arrogance. You've been lying, taking credit, manipulating everyone. Do you really expect us to ignore that? Jake's mouth opened and closed. No words came. Sweat formed at his hairline, and I could see the shift in the room. Respect evaporated, replaced by doubt and judgment. Emily's grip tightened on my hand. Alex, he looks like he's going to collapse. Good, I whispered. He needs to feel that weight. Not me delivering it, but his own actions catching up. Later, at a small gathering at one of Jake's friends' homes, the gossip spread like wildfire. Subtle comments, small exposures, little truths, every interaction chipped away at the persona he had so carefully built. Jake. I heard about the report for the project last month, one friend said casually. Apparently, some details didn't match your version. Jake forced a laugh. Well, there were some miscommunications. It's complicated. Complicated? Another friend asked, eyebrows raised. Or convenient? Jake's eyes darted around. I could almost see the panic forming behind the carefully crafted mask of confidence. I leaned closer to Emily. Watch him squirm, I whispered. She shivered. It's cruel to watch him like this. I'm not cruel, I said quietly. I'm observing the natural consequences. Let him feel the weight of what arrogance and betrayal create. Jake's phone buzzed. He glanced at it nervously and I noticed his hand tremble slightly. A colleague from work had sent a message verifying one of his lies. He couldn't spin it. He froze, swallowing hard. One of his peers chuckled softly. Looks like you can't escape the truth, huh? Jake's lips pressed together. I didn't mean to. You didn't mean to? I muttered under my breath. You didn't mean to betray your best friend and his wife? Emily's eyes met mine, tearful. Alex, you're so calm about this. I don't know how you do it. I've learned patience, I said softly. I've learned observation. And I've learned that some people let themselves fall. I just wait until it happens. Jake's social circle was unraveling. Friends who had once laughed at his stories now questioned him openly. His arrogance cracked under scrutiny and I could see him realizing, finally, that he couldn't manipulate everything anymore. At home later that evening, Emily sat close. Alex, I can't believe he's actually paying for it. Watching people turn on him. I know, I said quietly. It's satisfying, yes. But there's still pain. For me, for us. Satisfaction isn't happiness. It's just relief. Emily leaned her head on my shoulder. I'm starting to feel like we might actually get through this. Slowly. Carefully. Slowly is all we have, I said. We rebuild in pieces. Trust doesn't return in a day. And I won't let it be broken again. I thought about the letters I had written but never sent. The messages documenting every betrayal, every lie. They had served as reminders of pain, and now they served as reminders of control regained. Jake's downfall wasn't complete, but the cracks were widening. Every exposure, every subtle revelation, every whispered truth spread through his social circles. He stumbled, both professionally and personally, and there was nothing he could do. Emily sighed, quiet and contemplative. Alex, I know this is hard for you too. Even though it's satisfying to see him falter. It is hard, I admitted. Because every smile I force to the surface is weighed down by what we lost. Every moment of quiet revenge reminds me of betrayal, of what I endured while I was away. Emily squeezed my hand. Then we endure together. I nodded. Together. And we'll rebuild. Slowly. Carefully. Every step deliberate. Every choice mindful. No shortcuts, no illusions. Only truth, observation, and patience. Jake's phone buzzed again during dinner later that week. Another truth had surfaced, something about mismanaged funds at work. I watched him freeze, his hands shaking as he read the message. His friends glanced at each other, murmurs rising. His control, his arrogance, his carefully curated persona, all dissolving. Emily whispered, Alex, it's finally happening. I swallowed hard, feeling the bittersweet weight of it. Satisfaction tempered by lingering heartbreak. The price of betrayal had been paid, not by my hands directly, but by the natural consequences of arrogance and deception. I'll admit, I said quietly, seeing him stumble like this, it feels good. But not entirely. It reminds me of the wounds that linger, the trust that's fragile, the love that has to be rebuilt carefully. Emily nodded. And we will rebuild it. I feel stronger knowing you're here, planning, observing, but not losing yourself. I looked out the window, the evening sky painting streaks of orange and purple. Patience, Emily. That's all we need now. Patience and clarity. Every step deliberate. And when he falls completely, we'll still be here, standing together. Carefully. Slowly. But firmly. I exhaled, letting the tension drain. Karma was working. Jake was crumbling. And slowly, tentatively, Emily and I could start building the fragments of what we had lost. I sat on the porch with Emily, the evening sun warming our shoulders. Silence stretched between us, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was the kind of quiet that felt fragile, like it could shatter with a single wrong word. I don't know how to start, Emily said finally, her voice soft. I know I hurt you, Alex. I know there's no excuse that really makes it right. I don't expect an excuse, I said. I need honesty. The kind I can trust. Her hands fidgeted with the edge of her sleeve. I've tried to be honest, Alex. I really have. But it's hard. Every day I was scared you'd never forgive me, that you'd leave again. I couldn't face that. I nodded slowly, taking in her words. I understand that fear. But hiding things, letting him happen, that broke us in a way I'm still trying to heal from. I know, she said quietly. And I hate that I did it. I hate that I let things slip, that I let my loneliness guide my choices. I hate that too, I admitted, staring at the fading horizon. But I also hate myself for leaving. For chasing ambition over us. For thinking service meant more than our life together. Emily reached for my hand. Alex, I don't blame you for leaving. You wanted to serve and you were proud. You wanted to make a difference. I should have understood, should have supported, instead of letting things get so messy. I know, I said, squeezing her hand. But understanding doesn't erase the pain. It doesn't undo the betrayal or the mistakes. We have to rebuild from scratch. Carefully. Slowly. Every step matters. She nodded, eyes glistening. I want to try. I want to rebuild. With you. Even with everything that's happened. I want that too, I said. But trust takes time. And patience. And proof, not just promises. Emily's lips quivered. Then I'll give you proof every day. Even if it takes a long time. We sat together, hand in hand, letting the silence settle. Slowly, cautiously, we began to talk, not about betrayal or Jake or pain, but about small things. Simple things. how our day went, what made us laugh, little hopes for the future. I missed this, Emily said quietly, smiling faintly. Just talking. Not screaming, not hiding, not lying. I missed it too, I admitted. I missed your presence. Even when I was away, even when things were broken. I missed you. Every day. She looked at me, eyes searching. And do you forgive me, Alex? Really? I paused, letting the question sink in. Forgiveness wasn't simple, wasn't instant. But the anger that had burned inside me for months had cooled into clarity. I forgive you, I said finally. But that doesn't mean we forget. It doesn't mean what happened disappears. It means I choose to move forward with awareness, with caution, but with you. Emily's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, she whispered. I'll make sure every day counts. Every day. I nodded, feeling a weight lift slightly. And I'll make sure I don't let my pride or rage control me anymore. I've learned patience, observation, restraint. And that life isn't about punishment or revenge. It's about growth and learning from mistakes. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I feel safe for the first time in a long time. With you. Even with scars. Scars are reminders, I said softly. They remind us of what we survived. And what we can overcome. And sometimes, they remind us of what we must protect. Emily nodded. I want to protect this, us. I don't want to let anything break it again. And we won't, I said. But we need to be honest even when it hurts. Even when it's uncomfortable. That's how trust grows back. Later we met with my sister and her husband. The conversation was tentative at first, filled with awkward pauses, but gradually the atmosphere softened. I'm glad you're both here, my sister said. I know it hasn't been easy. I can see the tension, but I also see hope. That's good. That's what matters. Emily smiled faintly. We're trying. One day at a time. And that's enough for now, I said. We're rebuilding. Slowly. Carefully. Every step deliberate. Later, Emily's friend Claire visited. She brought cookies, coffee, and quiet encouragement. I've seen you both through a lot, she said gently. But I can see you're trying. And that's all that matters. Every effort counts. I know, Emily said softly. And we're committed to each other and to rebuilding trust. We've learned the hard way, but we're learning nonetheless. I added, we're learning to forgive, not to forget. To grow, not to dwell. To appreciate what we have now instead of wishing for what was lost. Emily leaned back, looking at me. And I appreciate you, Alex. Every day. For standing here, for choosing patience, for choosing me. I appreciate you too, I said. For honesty, for courage, for surviving. And for letting me be part of this journey. Even after everything. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in orange and purple streaks. I took a deep breath, letting the cool evening air fill my lungs. I never thought we'd be here, I said quietly, more to myself than anyone else. Not after everything, but here we are. Rebuilding. Slowly. Carefully. With intention. Emily smiled, resting her head on my shoulder again. I'm glad we're together. That's all I want. And me, I said softly. All I want is us. Step by step. Day by day. We'll get there. Jake was gone from our lives now. No calls, no messages, no presents. Only the scars remained, reminders of the past, but they didn't control us anymore. They were part of the lessons learned, the resilience built, the patience earned. I whispered quietly, almost like a vow. I will protect this. I will cherish this. I will not let ambition, rage, or betrayal control me again. I will be better, for her, for us. Emily squeezed my hand gently. And I'll be better too. Together. For the first time in a long while, I allowed myself to believe it. That we could rebuild. That trust, love, and life could exist again after betrayal. That wounds, though visible, could become strength. I exhaled, feeling a fragile peace settle around us. The road ahead would be long, careful, and deliberate, but we would walk it together. And slowly, cautiously, I allowed myself to hope. The hospital room smelled faintly of antiseptic, but the moment I saw Emily resting after the birth, all that vanished. She looked exhausted, pale, but radiant in a way only new mothers can be. She's perfect, I whispered, my voice catching. Emily smiled weakly. She is, isn't she? I reached out, carefully cradling our daughter for the first time. Her tiny fingers curled around mine instinctively. A shiver ran down my spine. This fragile little life, it was ours, and I knew every choice I made now mattered. I can't believe she's finally here, Emily said softly, eyes glistening. After everything? After everything, I echoed. We survived. We endured. And now, this. I can't imagine life without her, without you. Emily's lips quivered as she laughed through tears. You used to say ambition was worth more than love. Guess you learned the hard way, huh? I did, I admitted, shaking my head. I learned that some things, some people, are worth more than any dream. Worth more than pride, more than success, more than anything I thought mattered before. I adjusted the baby in my arms, careful not to jostle her. And this tiny person, she's a reminder of what matters most. Emily reached over, resting her hand on mine. We've come a long way, haven't we? I nodded. Longer than I ever thought possible. But we're here now. Together. Stronger, wiser, and more careful about what we value. She laughed softly, shaking her head. Careful, huh? That sounds like you now. Alex Carter, careful with everything but love. I am careful, I said with a small smile. Because love, because trust, because family, they're fragile. They don't rebuild overnight. You've taught me that. Emily leaned closer, whispering, and you've taught me patience. And forgiveness. And how to believe again. I exhaled slowly, staring down at our daughter's tiny face. She's going to grow up knowing love, I said quietly. Knowing respect. Knowing that even after betrayal, life can heal. That even when trust is broken, it can be rebuilt. Emily kissed my shoulder. And she'll know her father isn't just strong, he's wise. You've changed, Alex. I see it in you. I feel it. I smiled faintly, but my mind drifted briefly. Jake. His absence had left a strange emptiness, a lingering scar, but also closure. No threats, no lies, no arrogance left to poison our lives. Karma had done its work quietly as it always does. I still can't believe he's completely gone, Emily said softly. No messages, no excuses, no trying to worm back in. Just nothing. Exactly, I said. He's erased from our story. And that's enough. Justice doesn't always need my hands. Sometimes it just unfolds naturally. Emily's eyes glimmered with relief. And we can focus on us. On her. On healing. I nodded, rocking our daughter gently. Every day, step by step. No rushing. No shortcuts. Just patience, care, and love. That's what matters now. The room was quiet except for the soft coos of our baby. I listened intently, every tiny sound imprinting itself into my memory. Her first breaths, her first cries, her small hands clutching me, each one was a symbol of life's resilience, of hope restored. I have to admit, Emily said quietly, glancing at me, I was terrified. Terrified you wouldn't forgive me, that we couldn't rebuild, that... Her voice trailed off, fear still lingering in her eyes. I took her hand, holding it tightly. I had fears too. Terrible ones. I feared losing you forever, losing her, losing myself in anger and regret. But, I paused, smiling softly, we survived. And now we have everything we need. Emily leaned her forehead against mine. Everything we need. I laughed softly, the sound shaky but genuine. Even a few more sleepless nights ahead. She laughed too. Oh God, so many. I shook my head, smiling down at our daughter. Worth every one. Every single one. Later that evening, at home, I placed a small photograph of the three of us on the mantel, our first family photo together. Emily watched, a soft smile on her lips. I like that, she said. It feels permanent, real. It is, I said quietly. Permanent and real. And it's ours. No one can take this away. Not mistakes, not betrayal, not arrogance. This is the life we chose to rebuild together. She rested her hand on the photo. It's beautiful. And I can finally breathe. Really breathe. I sat beside her, holding our daughter between us. Me too. After everything, after all the pain, this is the part I'll remember. The quiet moments, the small smiles, the tiny hands. This is why we endured. Why we fought to survive each other, to survive ourselves. Emily kissed my shoulder again. You're not the same man I married, Alex. You've changed. Grown. Learned. I love you for it. I looked down at our daughter, then at Emily. I've changed, I admitted. I've learned the hard way that ambition without love, without loyalty, is meaningless. That trust is fragile but worth rebuilding. That anger doesn't always fix anything. And that patience can heal wounds that nothing else can. Emily smiled, eyes glistening. And we'll teach her that too. She'll grow up knowing love and respect and how to forgive. And she'll know that life Life can always start again even after heartbreak. I exhaled slowly, feeling the last shadows of anger and pain fade. Yes, I said quietly. Life can start again. And this time we're doing it together. Step by step, day by day. Carefully, patiently. Fully, completely. Emily rested her head on my shoulder. And I'll be with you every step of the way. I held our daughter closer, feeling her warmth against my chest. And so will I. Always. No more distractions, no more betrayals, no more shortcuts. Just us and her and the life we've rebuilt. That's all that matters. The room was silent except for the gentle breathing of our daughter, the soft rustle of blankets, and the quiet heartbeat of a family renewed. I kissed Emily's temple, whispered softly, "We made it. We finally made it." And as I looked at the two most important people in my life, I allowed myself to hope. Truly hope. That this was the beginning of something lasting, something strong, something unbreakable. The past was behind us, the betrayal gone. What remained was love, trust, and the quiet, steady rhythm of life restored. I whispered to myself quietly, a vow, a promise, a truth. We survived. We endured. We healed. And now we move forward. Together.